everyone, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network, where tonight we bring you live coverage of the North Wilkesboro 150 for the Grand National Series. Joining me in the booth tonight, as always, is James Watson, who's dealing with a little bit of issues over here, so he might not be here for the whole thing, but getting hammered here in the Midwest with the snowstorm, ice storm, kind of anything goes kind of storm apparently out there, so hopefully you all are staying safe and warm where you are. And then, of course, we've got Dave Huck at the controls. Guys, it's the last race of the round. Anything's going to go tonight with these drivers. What do you guys think we're going to see, and what do you expect to see?
Chaos, calamity, fire. And that'll only be the first few laps.
I'll go the opposite extreme. Quiet, all green.
I'll tell you what, peace, quiet, and all green would very much surprise me after the way things have been over the last few weeks. And I believe not with us tonight is someone who is locked into the championship four, and that is Tyler Fody. I believe he is, he's on vacation, so.
Yeah.
Hey, why he's on? That's part of the penalty, right? Publicly shamed for it.
I don't know. It was not a self-imposed vacation. He was asked to step away for, I believe, 3 races, right, Dave?
Might be across all the different series.
Yeah, there was. For those that don't know, there's some playoff shenanigans that took place at the final cutoff race for the GC Spider Truck Series.
Race manipulation, and quite honestly, not anything couldn't do quietly on your own. Problem with evidence. If you get sneaky and you do team orders or driver who.
Yeah, so what you're saying is you just got to learn how to cover your tracks a little better. Is that what I'm hearing, Dave? You know, you just got to know the situation.
You get in trouble for you.
Yeah, basically you just can't go, hey Clint, does your arm itch? And you should be fine.
But nonetheless, we got somebody who's going to join them in the four tonight. We got Ryan Borges on the pool tonight. Weeks out front there. Gerald Campbell, always good here at the short tracks. Blake Reynolds, Tommy Ryan, Jiffy Phillips, Jeff Green, Scott Crump, Chad Frankenfield, David Tooker round out the top 10. And just taking a quick look here at the point, I mean, we know Blake's in, we know John is in, and we know Fody's in. But that battle is Wadsworth, who is just a couple points over Frankenfield, who's just a handful of points over Weeks, who's just a whisker in front of Brandon Wilkinson, and then, of course, Gavin Hibbs, Seth Rawlson. They can win and get in. But real quick, guys, who's your fourth one in, and who is your race pick for tonight?
I'm thinking that Justin holds down the fort, and Borges brings home the win.
I was going Justin for both. I think Wadsworth will win, and
I'm going to go out here on a limb. I'm going to say Gerald Campbell gets the win. Wadsworth gets the 4th spot. Green flag is out. 150 laps from North Wilkesboro. And they head down here to turn 1. And this is the new scan of Wilkesboro. It might look a little different than the last time we raced here if you watched live on the Elite Racing Network. We got a little bit of a multi-groove kind of racetrack out here now where that groove's going to move around. Just feels more, I don't know, updated. Is that what you would call it, James? It feels a little bit more like a modern facility to race on now.
Yeah, but I do disagree a little bit with it now having multi-lane. To me, North Wilkesboro was always multi-lane, especially through 1 and 2s. Though to me, it doesn't really drive that much.
Oh, Scott Crump is around off the
Crump. Oh no! Oh no!
Tooker, Gavin Hibbs. That was contact off the front end of one of his best friends in the field, Chad Frankenfield.
Oh boy. That's how it begins.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like Chad quite got that thing to the bottom like he wanted to, and unfortunately, Scott's going to end up in trouble, and the 95 there of Gavin Hibbs, major playoff implications there for Gavin.
Yep, that is again unfortunate for Gavin, who he has the worst luck lately, I swear. Like, if a meteor was hitting the track, it was hitting that 95.
Just so everyone knows at home, Chad is explaining why it wasn't his fault and why it was on Scott for coming down.
Well, I mean, I will say a little bit of devil's advocate. They were gonna hit regardless, but I think there is a little bit of netcode right there that is what ultimately sent Scott around in that manner. Because you can see there is a little bit of space in between the two cars, and it kind of emanates right from that kind of left rear quarter panel. So I think that that's what ultimately set Scott around in that fashion. I don't think Scott would have completely spun had that not happened.
And unfortunately, a couple of guys getting together there. Of course, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I'm pretty sure Chad's going to get that tally, and Gavin Hibbs is going to come away with the brunt of the damage, and that is 2 playoff guys who are now affected just 6 laps in here.
Yeah, and to finish up on that thought, yeah, Chad definitely has earned the tally if he's getting it, but I just wanted to say the netcode did factor in, but it wasn't the end all be all. But yeah, it was say the line, Bart. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, race control.
Well, now the field is back in the hands of the 42, getting ready to get our first restart of the night. They roll up out of turn number 4, enter the restart zone. 42 on the loud pedal. Weeks spins the tires, going to check up that outside lane just a little bit. What a jump there for the bottom. Ryan's going to get way out. Leaving the battle for second there with Gerald Campbell, Matthew Weeks. And Gerald was my pick. Gerald is a quite the short track expert in the past. He kind of lost a little bit of that over the last handful of seasons. But I have seen some real gains back here for him this season. And I think Gerald's going to try to send a message tonight that next season he is going to be a guy that you're going to have to race for this championship.
Absolutely, and I feel like this is a track that really kind of fits Gerald's driving style.
And what would you call Gerald's driving style? What would you put that as?
Aggressive.
He is aggressive too.
Especially aggressive on corner entry, and I feel like that is rewarded here at Wilkesboro, especially going into turns 1 and 2. A little less so in 3 and 4, but not as bad as the original scan of Wilkesboro, because to me, the original scan, you kind of had to tiptoe a little bit through 3 and 4, because there was this bump right at the center of the corner that you would hit and just kind of shoot the car up the track. So you really kind of had to ease it in a little bit so that wasn't too drastic of a move up the track. But obviously, with this being repaved, you don't have to worry about that. So you can drive a little harder into the corner. And right here, 1 and 2. Oh, Chad's going in! And we're staying green. Wadsworth was involved.
I see Jared Rexing down there as well.
Yeah, it looked like Rexing and Chad got together. I'm not sure what caused it.
Well, I got to tell you, as hard as we typically are on Chad, Jared just kind of dove down in there. He was way back there, just really. I believe that is a teammate of Gerald, so I think he's gotten some coaching from Gerald this week based on how deep he just drove into turn 1.
Oh no, Wadsworth going around on the front straightaway. Oh man, Chris, Get out the Rick Allen impressions. We got championship implications here. Thankfully,
We
I
got
don't really see any damage on that 6 car.
and he's bouncing off of another playoff competitor in Seth Ross. Well, I believe James said that he was one of the guys that got some damage in the Chad no caution down there.
Correct, yeah. I'm not entirely sure if the rear damage was from that, but he was definitely involved in having to make a hard evasive maneuver.
And that's just two guys coming together. The 6 is going to spin. It's going to get some of that wall, but he's hoping that the night moves forward from here.
Yeah, to me, it's hard to make a call on that because Turn 4 at Wilkesboro is one of the hardest places to be side by side at because you're going over the crest of the track. Because obviously, those that don't know, what makes Wilkesboro unique is the fact that one half of the track is higher than the other half, and that the peak of that is the exit of turn 4. So you're having to go down the hill with all those gravitational forces kind of wreaking havoc, and you're also trying not to hit the wall because it loves to just suck the car up to the outside wall on the exit of 4. So you will see guys run a little lower on exit than you would think just because they're afraid of hitting the wall. Because chances are they will probably hit the wall if they don't run that line. So I think that's what ended up happening there.
And you can feel that in the car. You can feel the climb and the way down the other side as far as you can brake a little different into each corner because, like you mentioned, one end you're climbing, so you can drive in there a little bit deeper, and the other end you're going down, and so you can't get into the corner quite as deep going the other way.
Absolutely. We're already 1 to green again.
That's right, and it's the 42 with the 31 out there. This time, Weeks fell off that front row. We'll have to see if he can recover and get that back here as they come towards this restart zone. Green is out, and we see that inside line take off pretty good once again, Gerald, with a little bit of wheel spin, just like we saw Weeks do. So it looks like the guy who is on the outside is having trouble getting going. Now, I can't say from here if it's because he's on the outside or if it's just because he's trying to react to the leader. And that question will not be answered unless the leader decides to pick the top, and then we see second place spin his tires again. And then we could say for sure that, hey, it's just reacting to the leader.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably just because of the fact that they're having to restart on the front row as the non-control car. Because to me, I always wanted to be on the top in 1 and 2. Being able to run that middle is worth so much, not only pace but in battling for position. So it's a bit surprising to me to see Borges take the inside, but as you see, you're not really at risk of losing control of the race from that unless you're Ethan Stanley and Tommy Ryan is having the restarts of his life, like what we saw at the Truck Series race here earlier in the season.
And what I'm seeing here right now is something we see at short tracks in the real world, and we're starting to see it kind of come to fruition here. You're seeing that conveyor belt. You're seeing guys all lined up, single file. There's some side-by-side battles as you get further back, but everybody's kind of trying to get into a rhythm.
We're Chad wide.
Except for Chad. That is Chad back there. Chad is trying to not have any rhythm right now. He just wants to be passing, moving forward. That's what Chad is looking for. And here we go again. Thankfully, Jesse either seen it or got the call late, because it looked like Jesse was going to turn off into 3 like they weren't 3. Oh, Joe Francis.
Oh, no. And there's the caution.
Oh, I think he got away with that. He kissed that inside wall, but he's all right.
And, this caution is huge for Wadsworth because Justin was a lap down. So this will put Justin back on the lead lap.
And with these rash of cautions early, just in case it breaks out and we run green to the end, we will get in our one obligation for a commercial break. So stick with us and on the other side of the break, hopefully we'll bring you 120 straight green laps from Wilkesboro.
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bomarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser-scanned replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Wilkesboro, where the 1 to green was just signaled to these guys. 42 on the front row with Gerald Campbell. So Ryan and Gerald are going to bring us down once again with Weeks and Blake looking on. Just back there behind them, you got Tommy, you got Jeff Green, JP Phillips, David Tooker. We got Chad on the move, making Chad-wide maneuvers. Settle in. It's going to be a long and exciting night from Wilkesboro. 42 enters the restart box and is on the loud pedal. Once again, some wheel spin on the top. Head for turn 1. Blake's looking to the outside, trying to get up there and see if he can get the rim ride lane working. Not quite able to do it just yet. But it looks like Blake is tired of running anywhere but up towards the front. Oh, Jeff Green hard into the wall. Tooker hard into the back of him. There is some damage to the front of Tooker, and there is definitely some damage to the right side and the rear end of Jeff Green after that incident there off of turn number 4.
Amos is also dropped from the session.
That is not... He's on his way back. Ooh, Seth Rawls and David Tooker bouncing off of each other. Tooker right now is the hot spot for some contact. I think it's because Chad's coming. As Chad gets closer in the mirror, the intensity picks up.
Yeah, and Chad needs to be aggressive. I know we love to meet about it, but he does kind of have to be aggressive in this scenario because he's lost 5 points from that tally, so he's now 9 behind Wadsworth. So he needs to get as much stage point as he can get and take advantage of Wadsworth having, at the very least, a rough stage 1 here.
Oh, and Chad's going to poke in the middle 3 there. Great contact with Seth. Holy smokes, boys.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact. I think Chad gave Seth a little bit of a hip check.
Oh, and the wrecked Seth is getting used and abused right now.
He is. Oh, poor Seth. Lord have mercy.
Looks like he's going to try to settle in now right in front of Cutlet.
Oh, and Gavin Higgins has dropped as well.
Ooh, Chad sideways and in the wall. I got to tell you, these cars do not look like they are very stuck to the track tonight. These guys are sliding all over the place, bouncing off the wall. This looks like quite the race to be a part of out here.
And it's beautiful.
And we've not even gotten into the fact of all the craziness that's going to go on because this is the final race to get in there and race for a championship. Oh, took her with contact from Chad Frankenfield.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh
Man, you'd
boy.
like to do that and get away. He's not going to get away. Does Tooker take another shot back at him?
He could. I don't know if Dave is really that type of driver, but he could. Has got to throw a slider here. He's got to clear him, and instead, there's contact from Rexing into David Tooker. That's gonna help Chad.
Is there an alliance between Jared Rexing and Chad Frankenfield? Is he doing Chad's dirty work for him?
Well, considering that Jared hit Chad earlier, I don't think so. Or maybe it's Jared's going, I owe you one here, bud. Sorry. Meanwhile, Weeks and Gerald battling hard with each other.
Weeks is one of those guys who's got to make something happen. He's got to make up points. He's got to do something. You know, we mentioned he came in here about 15 points below the cut line. So with Wadsworth's rough night, we're 9 laps away from the end of the stage. So Wadsworth's probably not going to get points. So this is huge for Weeks. And you mentioned how big it is for Chad to get up through here as well. These points are the most needed points all season for these two drivers. With, you know, Wadsworth having his troubles, you got to keep him pinned down. If you let Wadsworth get back in the fight here and you don't capitalize when you got him down, you'll pay for that later.
Absolutely, and you know, things still are getting better for Justin. I don't know if he's just taking it easy, just trying to.
Well, look, I don't want to out somebody's strategy, but I got to think he's just riding around knowing he's not going to drive up for stage points, and everybody is going to pit the first caution after the stage, and Wadsworth is probably going to try to stay out and just hope to stay in the top 10 and flip some track position. That's what I think his thinking is. See there, Jeff Green right in there behind Chad Frankenfield, who has climbed to 6th. All of a sudden, what started out as a crazy night for Chad and one that was not going the right direction, he's going to have a shot at a top 5 here in the stage. There you see Chad. Now he's looking ahead to Tommy Ryan, trying to get one more spot, and he's got 4 laps to do it. He might get them both. Gerald's really abused his tires here, and Chad's thinking, hey, there's 2 points out here. And you see there the graphic. Chad has been faster than both of these guys. Drives right to their back bumper, and Tommy's thinking I'm better than Gerald, and Chad's thinking I'm better than both of them. A lot of times that could lead to a little bit of contact.
Yep. Immovable force, something, unstoppable object, something.
I'm very surprised by how patient Chad is being right here behind these guys. I really thought Chad would get there, take a big dive, make a big move. But Chad's being so patient that I'm starting to think he's not going to pass either one of them before the end of the stage.
I don't think he's going to be able to make a run here with just 2 to go. He's close, but I don't think he's going to be able to have enough time to set up to get the position he needs. As Rexing just airmailed it through the corner and bounced off of the wall. Now Chad's starting to get to the inside of Tommy.
That's right, and we're coming to 1 to go right here, so the next time by is going to be the battle for that spot.
Now here's the question, does Chad kind of feed him a little bit of right rear?
I think you got to drive down into turn 3 and just push him up the track if you're Chad. I don't think you can not drive down into turn 3 and use him up.
I think he was going to, but he slipped a little bit on that exit of 2, and that's going to cost him the opportunity. But he's going to just clear him. was a great corner from Chad, able to just drive by him on the inside.
And that's right. We got Ryan, Blake, Weeks, Gerald Campbell, Chad Frankenfield, Tommy Ryan, Jared Rexing, Jonathan Cutler, Jeff Green, and Jake Hanor round out our top 10, receiving stage points right there at lap number 50.
So that has earned Chad 6 points, which means it's now Justin Wadsworth is +3 to the good here. And now that we shift our focus to the overall finishing position, it is looking dire for Justin, running P20th while Chad is battling for 4th. If Chad was smart here, given the huge position disparity, I would maybe consider just kind of calming down for a few. You know, there's no real reason to keep running this aggressive since we have less than 100 laps to go before the end of the race. There's no sense in potentially getting yourself wrecked or angering someone to the point of, well, getting yourself wrecked.
Yeah, but I think Chad, he's gotten to 4th, and now he's got some clear track, so I think he'll calm down a little bit here because he doesn't have anybody left to race with right now unless Rexing can get there. Jonathan Cutlip, we haven't really documented his rise here, but he has risen through this field as well. And so he's got a lot of speed in his race car. Meanwhile, you know, we've talked about Gerald Campbell. His long run pace, he is really fallen off here. You see Dave Carpenter. I believe I think he's pulling his Cheaties machine in there.
Yeah, Dave was really off pace, like a mechanical issue off pace a few laps to go. So that might be all she wrote for Dave, unfortunately. And
you're seeing it here, battle for the lead. Blake's going to try to go out here, see if he can win this race. He's got Ryan right in front of him. These lap times have slowed way down here as well, James. These guys still aren't driving very good, but they have lost a ton of grip. They've fallen off a good little amount here. This is what makes good racing when there's this much tire fall off.
And it really makes you kind of turn your attention back to the battle for the last spot in the championship for, again, in the sense of, okay, what's going to happen to them on the long run? Obviously, we saw Chad going balls to the wall trying to drive his way up to 4th and get stage points, but how is that 15 going to be looking here in another 30, 40 laps? And on the flip side, Wadsworth, who was just kind of taking it easy towards the back of the field for this entire run, does he likely have a lot more rubber left on those tires? And could we see the track position seriously flip here?
Well, and you know what else we've got to consider here? I don't want to get too deep into the weeds over what might happen, what will happen. But if that tally holds for Chad, Matthew Weeks would then just be 7 points behind Chad, 6 or 7 points. So that's another points battle if Justin can't get up in there far enough to overcome those stage points for Weeks and Chad having, not just the stage points out of Chad, but Chad's having a great run right now. A lot of pace in that 15. So Wadsworth's going to have to find a way to get up into the top 10 and stay there and finish up there to be able to get back in this fight. And then with the penalty that Chad may or may not get, or whatever happens with that, that is going to be something that is going to really kind of change the night for Weeks and Chad.
Yeah, because let's see. Do a little bit of tabulation here. Obligatory Zach Evans. I was told there would be no math. I believe after the end of the stage, Matthew is, I think, 8 points behind Chad, because was Weeks 3rd at the end of the stage and Chad 5th at stage?
Yeah, I believe it was 3rd and 5th.
Okay, then yes, it's -8.
But then, if the 5-point tally holds on Chad, we're talking about a separation of 3.
Well, no, I'm factoring in the tally. So Okay, so Matthew would actually be 3 points behind Chad, who is 3 points behind Wadsworth, factoring in stage points and the potential tally. So yeah, right now, 6 points separate the last 3 cars going for the last spot points wise.
And oh, by the way, that factors in that Brandon Wilkinson, Gavin Hibbs, and Seth do not win.
Yeah, otherwise, all 3 of those guys are SOL.
Well, I don't see Wilkinson. He's not here, is he?
Negative.
Gavin is wrecked on the lap down. So it falls on Seth to spoil this fight. Like, if Seth can get up there and find a way to win this thing, and right now he's running 12, he's not really had any pace like we've seen out of Chad or Weeks. And, you know, Justin wrecked and got a lap back, and he's almost ready to pass Seth here. So Justin has got the long run pace here. So Seth is going to have to find either some short run pace or some long run pace, or a mix and match of both, because Seth right now is the only one of that group that has shown really no speed so far this race.
And Tommy Ryan is gotten back by Chad for P4.
You know, and we got to start getting into the possibility of a green flag stop if you're going to split this race in half. You know, like some of these guys are going to say, hey, it might run green, and with the tire fall off, these guys have fallen off. In the neighborhood of 2 seconds, second and a half or 2 seconds, still falling off. So the speed is going to be there in new tires, but the question is, does a caution come out? Now, I would be very hesitant. Like, I'm going to talk about the possibility that we could see it, and we very well could, especially for a non-playoff guy who's just trying to win the race, like a Gerald Campbell, who is free-falling right now. But it would be very risky. I don't think you do it if you're in the playoff race, unless you're maybe Seth and you're just going to throw a Hail Mary. Like, Seth's like, I have no pace. I can't do this on the long run. I don't know how they're doing it on the short run. I'm just going to throw a Hail Mary. But it's very risky because new tires, old tires, big time differential, still a lot of cars out here, short track being Wilkesboro. Like, very easy for us to come across a caution. Like, it would not take... This isn't like a Chicago or a Kansas where there's plenty of room out here for guys to get away from each other. So it's a high-risk move, but it could be high reward if it runs green to the end, too.
Yeah, in the meantime, I've been looking at the running positions of everyone right now and trying to figure out the points battle of if they finish where they're running. And right now, Chad is 1 point to the good over Weeks, with Wadsworth now being 3 behind Chad.
And I got to tell you, this 25 car is looking for a place to wreck. Seth just got so sideways in 1 and 2. Now he's out here, and they are passing him on either side. He is really struggling. So not only does he not have the short run pace, he has cooked these tires. And so he is really struggling at this point. He keeps finding himself in these 3 wide predicaments, being the guy that's super sideways. So Seth is just hanging on. And there you see, it is a complete hornet's nest all around Seth right now.
And you see Gavin Hibbs having to be aggressive, going around Seth while they were 3 wide, because he's trying to battle Crump for the lucky dog spot, and Crump is about straightaway ahead. So Gavin has to get it in gear if he's going to have any hope of getting back in this race and pulling off the miracle walk-off win here.
Yeah, and I can't say enough Seth right there. Seth was in front of that whole group. He's given up 6 or 7 spots in the last couple laps. As you see, Chad Frankenfield trying to pass Matthew Weeks, as Tommy Ryan already did. And I tell you what, these two know how important the spot is between the two of them. That's taking one away from your competitor and putting one in your... That's a 2-point swing right there with that one pass.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Matthew falling off like this. You would have figured that Chad would be the first one to really show the age of his tires, but see, he's able to get by the 11 and set sail here.
And there you see Scott Crump passing Justin Wadsworth, but that is a lap car of Scott Crump. And I think Justin's probably pretty happy with his recovery. Back up to 11th. After everything that happened, he can fight from there. And he, like you mentioned, he just needs a couple points. He don't need to drive all the way up to 5th. Oh, Leighton Morgard just went straight.
Something's happened to Chad. He's falling down. Did Chad drop? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. That is devastating.
I'll be surprised if we don't get like some kind of red flag call here. The race has to stop until Chad can get back.
My goodness, that hurts.
And he's been going long enough now where if he comes back, it will be down a lap. But I mean, that is major playoff implications. That just eliminated him from any shot of this Final Four. But I think with Wadsworth's pace and climbing back up through there, something would have had to have happened to Wadsworth. So now I think if you're Chad, you got to be sitting there hoping Wadsworth gets into the top 6 or 7. That way it's like, hey, there was nothing I could have done outside of win. But Chad was sitting there maybe thinking he could win the race. So that's going to leave a bad taste in Chad's mouth no matter what happens at this point. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. Like this, there's only one other time I've seen anything like that happen. And it was coming around to get the white flag at Watkins Glen. Ethan Stanley had about a 40-second lead, as you know he likes to do in those road course races. And he fell out getting the white flag. And that's the only time I've ever seen anything like this happen where it really changed the outcome of the race or this, in this case, the championship.
Yeah, that is just a huge bummer. So now looking at the points, I believe Justin is in by 1 point. Man, that's close.
You got to know. Weeks knows what's up. Now you got to wonder, is Justin getting the communication from somebody that, hey, the closest guy to you, he just fell out. So, I'm sure he can see it. Justin's very aware of what's going on, but I would be very, very making sure that Justin understands you just got to finish, where you're running, maybe a little better, depending on, what did you say Weeks needed to get him?
Matt is 1 point behind Wadsworth.
So Wadsworth needs to finish, top 8 probably, as long as Weeks doesn't win?
Basically.
So, while it sucks for Chad, it pretty much cleared up the picture for what Weeks needs and what Justin needs to do. Justin now knows 8th or better gets him through unless Seth or Weeks wins. You see a pitter here, but just one. I think the fact that these guys went so far, they probably are not going to pit. They're probably saying, unless a caution comes out, we're staying on the racetrack. Got the fuel to do it. I really thought with the tire fall off we'd see some pitters, but that does not appear to be the case. And here is Chad back out on the racetrack, as Dave just mentioned. But Chad, unfortunately, 8 laps down, and there's close to 10 guys in front of him that are going to get the lucky dog before he does. Oh, and Gerald.
Boy. Oh, dear.
Yeah, and Chad's going to be taking no holds barred now. I believe Chad uttered, I was running the perfect race. So.
Except for the tally.
Well, and I don't think he was winning either, so it wasn't quite perfect. He was running a great race. He was doing what he needed to do to put himself in the fight, but I wouldn't go as far as perfect. And the 3 cars on tires too, so this is kind of good for the rest of the field. If the 15 and the 3 can stay close together, you get them both coming at the same time. That's the way you kind of want to do it as a guy that's out here on older tires, is just have both of them pass you at the same time. Here comes Joe Francis down pit road as well. Gerald just drove up into the wall. Gerald is struggling. Gerald's been lapped here. We haven't documented that, but Gerald is just lost a lap. So my pick to win. I mean, those hopes and dreams are dying right now. Like it's pretty bad. And this is not good for Chad now. All of a sudden, like. We're lapping, Gerald's 14th. You got Jesse right out in front of him. You got Paul right out in front of the leader. Like, every car that gets lapped is another car that Chad is, because Chad's not going to make up 7 laps. Or 8 laps. He might get to 6 or 7 down, but I don't think a scenario that gets Chad back within 3 or 4 laps of the leader, no matter what happens the rest of this race.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna gain laps just because of the fact that he's on fresher tires. And, that's not even factoring in if any of them do have to pit, which what we're hearing is no one will have to pit on fuel, so...
And he blended right in front of the leader at 8 down. So he's got to go a whole lap to get 1 back. So, there's no scenario that... He's just out here running for pride at this point.
Yeah. Or to be the chaos he wants to see in the world.
And we are down to 10 cars. We're down to just 10 cars on the lead lap, guys. I mean, this has turned... Blake has got a 3.5 second lead. It is 7.5 seconds to third. Fourth is 11.4 back. This has turned into a Jeff Gordon type whooping here in 1998. This thing has quickly lost a lot of competitiveness here at the front of the field.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly, honestly.
And who that's good for, we talked about it being bad for Chad, but Justin Wadsworth, being really good in the long run, has climbed to 7th. And so that's good on 2 fronts. 1 is he's not one of the next cars to get lapped, and 2 is that's points. He hasn't abused his tires like some of these other guys have. So if this thing runs green another 10 laps, I think 8th, 9th, and 10th will probably end up lapped in the next 10 laps. Justin's still running pretty good pace. Justin's about to take 6th. But meanwhile, can we give a shout out to our 6th place runner?
Yeah, look at old Dusty up there, and he's knocking on the door at Jonathan Cullip. He's about to make a move for P5. What a
absolutely incredible there for Dusty. I mean, we're talking about all these guys with playoff implications and all this, and Dusty's like, hey, I'm going to go try to win this thing, see what I can do, and he's trying to pass Jonathan Cutlip. That is some good stuff right there. And Justin's right behind them both. Great run for Dusty. I've seen Dusty get some top 5s at some plate tracks and even at Martinsville with the chaos and whatnot. But I'm going to tell you what, we are working on a 100-lap green flag run, and Dusty has moved forward up here from 26th, I believe is what it said he started. He is just past Jonathan Cutlip to move into the 5th spot. This is a career run for Dustin Dewar. What a job.
Incredible. If he can just clear. Oh, he had him cleared, but he didn't pull up. You gotta take the opportunity when it comes, Dusty.
Well, I think that's a little bit of the respect level he has for John. I'm not going to cut him off. You race different at the front than you do at the back. At the back, you're going to slide up and you're going to chop that guy because you guys are racing for your lives. But at the front, there's a little bit more give and take, a little bit more room given. And so it's just absolutely incredible for Dusty. And you see right there looking on is Wadsworth. You got caution on the racetrack.
There it is! Oh, and
Joe
it's Joe again.
Francis. Jeff Green was just in front of the leader.
Oh,
Like the leader was on his back
Tailspin.
bumper.
oh boy, this is going to be interesting.
And you see these guys coming down pit road. Just 10 cars on the lead lap. Our lucky dog will be Brent Jones. We talked about Dusty. Brent Jones running just outside the top 10. I believe it's going to be our lucky dog recipient. You know what? I can't talk. Okay, I can't do that English word. And you see that is a Casey Kane throwback there for Brent Jones.
It is, and it's gorgeous. Yes, I'm a Casey Kane fan for those that haven't picked up on. Ah, my childhood.
And there you see some guys pitting, some guys staying out. Paul, not understanding the rules, is not going to be able to stay. He's going to have to take the wave now. Jesse looks like he's taking the wave. Justin Wadsworth just got lapped under caution.
Oh man, they might not the only thing I can figure is that they weren't quite caught up to everyone when they brought it down, and because of that, taking 4 tires just was too long.
I don't know, but that's a mistake you can't have here with 40 laps to go. You cannot, like, with there only 10, you were in a great spot, one of just a handful of guys on the lead laps. That is not a mistake that you can have there if you're Justin, whether it's on him, somebody not telling. Like, it's ultimately it's the driver. It's his responsibility to understand what's going on, but that is just not a mistake you can make there if you're Wadsworth, because he's going to go to the back of the one lap down cars. All of a sudden, Matthew Weeks is in the driver's seat of making it, and the green flag is out.
I don't think they're close to being lined up.
Nope.
You see Blake getting away there. Weeks trying to move forward on the top. Right now, JP Phillips holds that lucky dog spot. Weeks trying to get up there. He doesn't want to point his way in. He wants to win, but I think if I was in Weeks' ear, I would say a top 5 gets it done at this point. Top 6 or 7 probably gets it done. There's only so far Justin can move. So
Still showing 4 drivers that haven't changed tires.
we did have some guys take the wave there, Dave, who are going to be
Lychek,
in a pretty...
Demas, Hooker, and Gerald Camp.
Yeah, and Gerald's already about to get lapped again. Gerald's running about 2 seconds a lap slower than the leaders. So major implications there on that caution. Just some stuff there that you can't have happen when you're racing for a championship. You cannot be unaware of how long it takes to do a pit stop, and that's really killed the drama for our races. You see Jeff Green there moving up.
Yeah, like this, unless something drastic happens, Justin is pretty much out of it, you know, because he's going to have to pass a lot of cars just to get to the lucky dog. And you can't rely on the wave around because not enough people up front are going to pit. So, Justin,
I guarantee that 11 is not going to let him wave around. Like, no matter what happens. And it might not be the 11. The 11 might get the pit, but as a teammate of the 11, if I'm out there, you know, and Gerald Campbell's around. But he's spun into pit entry, so will we get the caution?
No caution. Oh, now we
Now.
got a caution, and I think Gerald's also gonna get a black flag since he was down on pit road.
So that is going to put JP Phillips, I believe, as the lucky dog.
Now, Gerald is gonna need this to get Justin is gonna need this to get very silly very quickly.
Yeah, and I just can't believe what we saw take place. You know, I just cannot believe you would let yourself get lapped again. Like that just baffles me with all the communication, all the teammates, and you know, and it wasn't just him. Now he's the playoff guy, but Jonathan Cutlip went down a lap too.
Trump just said there were
So he
8
got
people
trapped.
that went.
Well, there wasn't 8. We had 10 on the lead lap. We lost a couple, added a lucky dog. Like it's
Are you
just a
saying
handful.
Trump is wrong?
I'm saying Crump is over exaggerating. I won't say he's wrong, but he's added about 5 or 6 onto that number of what it actually was.
I've told you once. I've told you a million times. He doesn't.
Being a teammate with Crump, I know for a fact he over exaggerates a lot more than you guys every year. You should hear some of the stuff that doesn't get out, that just is said to the teammates. I believe at one point he said 80 cars passed him in 4 laps, and I mean, you do the math. I don't think there's 80 cars ever out here on the racetrack.
Hey, let's run a quick blue egg spot.
Well, that sounds good. Let's do it, Dave. Let's get one more ad in here as we come to 30 to go working this caution.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing picker. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
And welcome back there after a word from our friends at Blue Egg. Blake's out front, Matthew there in second, and I am sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Matthew knows where he's at right now is enough. 29 to go, green comes out, big wheel spin there for the 11. They head down for turn 1. Currently sitting here with 11 guys on the lead lap. Blake trying to run away with it again. Brent Jones hard into the outside wall there off of turn number 4.
Yeah, and he almost gets it again.
That's I tell you, Casey Kane used to be able to run the high side at times. You know, Casey Kane was really good at Rockingham for just a couple trips he got to take.
Yes, sir. One of many depressing races as a lifelong Kane fan.
But that was a great race too. Casey didn't get to win, but him, Matt Kenseth, Jamie McMurray, I mean, that was a great race. Great finish. Rockingham, I cannot wait for them to get a cup date. They'll be back on the Xfinity schedule and truck schedule once again next season for the 2nd year in a row. No sponsor, but great place to see a race.
Somehow I don't share your sentiment on that race, but fair enough.
Well, one thing that's happening is Brent is trying to figure this tie line out. He's like, I'm not going to give up on it. I'm not going to give up on this top side, and I'm going to keep going up there. Meanwhile, Justin right there, and I believe Rexing as well, they pitted and got tires to try to go up here and get the lucky dog. But it does not look like it is helping them, as right now that 5 car holds that lucky dog spot. And that being Jonathan Cutlip, then a late Norgard, then Jared Rexing, then Wadsworth, then Gerald Campbell.
Yeah, they're getting closer, but they need to get by that 5 car up there. That's who they're racing.
Yeah, you really don't have time to You don't have time to be patient here if you're Justin. I don't think. I feel like him, Rexing, like
Well,
you kind of gotta go.
yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to be too aggressive and cause that caution. Especially if you are battling, if you do get to actually battle for the lucky dog spot, you don't want to cause that caution because then you're going to lose the lucky dog. So you have to be as aggressive as possible, but you also have to be measured so you don't shoot yourself in the foot at the very last chance you have.
Right now, if I'm Justin or I'm Rexing and I know I'm not in the lucky dog spot, I'm being super aggressive. And if there's a wreck right now off of my bumper, so be it, because I'm not in the lucky dog spot, but you got to move forward. I just don't think you have time. Like, I see Justin just committing to this bottom to save the tire, which worked great when he was on the lead lap. But now that you've got to go and you've got 20 laps to get there, well, not even that. You want a caution as fast as you can get one, so you are wanting to put the limit as low as you can, 5 laps, 10 laps, but you just don't have. I mean, look at Gerald. Gerald's going to go around him right here, and we know. Oh, Jeffrey's around right in front of him. Oh, well, Leighton's going to get a piece of it.
And Jeff ran as well.
Now what do you do? Jonathan Cutlip is going to get the lucky dog. If you're on the lead lap, tires probably wins the race.
Anyone else find the irony in Jeff Green getting dumped by his old paint scheme?
I bet Jeff doesn't. And here come the pit stops. Blake is going to stay out. Weeks is going to stay out. Tommy Ryan stays out. Ryan pits. Jay stays out. Dustin Dewar's on pit road. Brent Jones is on pit road. JP Phillips. Jeff Green. David Tooker. Paul gets on pit road here. Cutlip's going to get the wave around, so he's probably going to pit.
And this is interesting because Rexing is getting parked because that's his second tally. So right there, that's 2 less guys that Wadsworth is going to have to fight for the lucky dog. I believe he's going to be the one holding that lucky dog spot. So he is going to be doing the caution dance, just praying that we can get one more yellow to get back in the fray and at least have an opportunity to fight.
I'm Rexing. I appeal one just to stay in the race. Doesn't give a crap about it. Might as well stay
I'll tell
out
you
there
this
and have
too,
some
for
16 more laps of
Wadsworth.
fun.
Wadsworth is going to be in the lucky dog when this flag drops, but he's the only lapper that did not come and get tires.
Ew.
So he's going to need that caution, I mean, immediately not to get overtaken by tires.
Yeah, and the first car behind him on those fresher tires is going to be Gerald, and we know how aggressive that 31 is going to be.
If I was Justin, I'd be calling in any favors I have. Don't pass me. Don't pass me, guys. Don't pass me. Stay behind me. Here they come through 3 and 4, getting ready to get the green flag. Green is out. A great jump there on the bottom. Dustin Dewar is going to take off spinning his wheels. Gerald immediately goes right to the top of 3.
And if you're Justin, you got to be careful here, because again, if you get any incident, any 0x, you're going to lose the lucky dog. So you have to be aggressive to stay ahead of Gerald, but you can't get any sort of contact. It is the tightrope to end all tightropes here if you're the 6.
Yeah, and he's got the 31 right there beside him on his outside. You're just wanting, if you're Justin, to see the caution before he gets around you, but Gerald can't quite get there. Oh, they're wrecking right in front of him.
Oh, Gerald.
Gerald's going to come down and collect Justin.
No!
Gerald.
And I believe that's Justin's playoff shot right there.
Yeah.
Just like that, we're going to be looking at Matthew Weeks. You see Gerald trying to miss it. It's going to turn left and just come down and clear the 6 out. Which Gerald didn't mean to do that. He's trying to miss the wreck. He's racing hard for the lucky dog. It's still very unfortunate, and I'm sure Justin is going to be very upset. I believe they're going to give the lucky dog to Jesse Racimus, if I had to guess.
Man.
I don't know who gets the lucky dog. I haven't seen it given out yet. It is Jesse. Jesse is going around here to get the lucky dog. Matthew Weeks has got to be sitting there after that, knowing I just need a solid run. I think, what is it? Weeks probably can finish, 5th or 6th or better and win this thing now? Or not win this, get in. Get in. This is just to get into the championship final.
Yes, I think he can even finish 6th. So Wadsworth is on pit road trying to get some of that damage fixed.
And Wadsworth is going to be frustrated with what just happened. But I think Wadsworth is probably going to be more frustrated with the fact that he's let himself get a lap down.
Yeah. Between this and Dover, there's going to be some things sitting at the back of his mind for the foreseeable future.
Well, one thing that is for sure is they're coming to 7 to go. The pace car's pulling off. Blake is trying to get this thing done. Weeks is trying to advance. Tommy Ryan just wants to win along with Ryan. Dustin Dewar, Brent Jones back in there. Big wheel spin. Dustin just lighting those tires all over the place. Blake gets clear up at the front. Battle for second. Here comes Tommy. They're coming for 6 to go. The 42 looking like he might take a look to 3, but did not do it.
They were 3 wide further behind.
And I want you to look at how high Weeks is running right here to give the 66 all that room. Now Brent Jones is on tires. Brent came and got tires. He's trying to get up here and steal a race win. I think if I'm Weeks, I move down and just give him the top. You know, this is not a fight that Weeks needs to have. He does just that.
Oh, Brent.
Brent's going to go up and hit the wall. Oh, and they're going to get together, and they're all going to crash going into one.
Oh, they clipped Brent. No. Oh, Norgard almost. Oh.
Brent went from thinking he was going to win this race on tires to backwards.
That is heartbreaking. If he was able to avoid that, then he might have been able to go on and win this race if he avoided getting clipped there.
100%. Brent had the speed. Brent was the fastest guy on tires, got up there. I know Brent said to put it on him. Brent went up and hit the wall, but I don't think the wreck was his fault.
No.
I think the wreck was the 66 and the 42 coming together. It's one of those deals like we talked about with Justin. Justin's going to be mad that he got taken out of the playoffs, got taken out of the lucky dog spot. But Justin's also blaming himself, I'm sure, over letting himself get lapped. And it's the same thing here. Brent's like, man, I can't believe I put myself back in that spot. But I don't believe the accident was his fault.
Yeah, that's just heartbreaking for Brent. That would have been, I think, an all-time moment for a lot of people if Brent would have been able to run up there and take this win.
Yeah, he just had it rolling, just got a little too high. Car quit churning. Now we're sitting here for green and white checkers.
So it looks like Gerald got the lucky dog.
He sure did. And Gerald's got tires too. We know how aggressive he's been all night long. It's going to be hard to get there from 14th, but if he can get from 14th to 8th or 9th, catch a caution going into 3, it's anybody with tires, if they can just get the momentum rolling here. But you got to do that. You got to be willing to nut up, right, James? Like, I think that's what Brent was willing to do, to put it all out there on the table, roll the dice right on the edge. You got to be willing to do that on fresh tires to come from 6th or 8th. You got to just be aggressive and take every hole, take every run, and hope it works.
Yes, sir. Net up and ball out.
Come around here to get the green flag once again. Green is out. Blake gets a great jump once again over Weeks. Weeks dives in there looking for him on the top, though. Weeks is actually going to try to win this thing, it looks like. Blake slides up.
Oh, but here comes Borges.
Weeks is knocking on that back bumper. White flag is out. Here comes the 42. I believe he's on tires as well. 42 is going to have the run here down the back.
Oh, look
They
at
go
that
for
speed.
3.
Oh,
He just loses the nose.
Yep,
Blake's
he's not
going to
do
win.
it.
Blake wins the race. Ryan second. Weeks third. Great run for Dustin Dewar, Tommy Ryan. Matthew Weeks will join Tyler Fody, Blake Reynolds, Jonathan Cutlip in the championship for next week, where we will crown a champion. And now Blake is doing a full lap burnout. Unfortunately, the championship fight comes to the end here tonight for Justin Wadsworth, Seth Rawls, Gavin Hibbs, who was in a wreck pretty early in the race,
Oh, my goodness.
and Chad Frankenfield and his connection ended his opportunity
Oh, my
as well.
God. Oh, Jonathan Cullum is still barrel rolling. Now it just stopped.
But I believe what we are going to do is we're going to get in one more commercial break, and on the other side of the break, we will interview our top 3, including new Championship 4 driver, Matthew Weeks. Stick with us.
Tickets for the 2026 season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing picker. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
And welcome back to North Wilkesboro, where we have just finished our 150 lap race here. Lots of green flag racing for the most part there in the middle, not too crazy. And I am standing down here with Matthew Weeks. Matthew, I know it wasn't the race win that you wanted, but mission accomplished. You will fight for a championship next week. Talk to us about your night and what it means to you to go fight for a championship next week.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good night. I did what I had to do. I think minus 14, coming in tonight, I was like, it's pretty much a must win. I feel like that being that far back, and then I was looking pretty good. I get the stage points, and no one was, and I seen Chad coming up to the field with the fresh tires, and luckily he lagged out of the lobby there, so that really helped. And then it was just about trying to execute and get as many points as I could, try to stay top 3. I really wanted to win. I tried to give Blake a bump, but I just barely tapped him. I didn't want to give him a hard bump because I knew the fresh tires would have been on the outside, so I didn't want to like move him up to the outside and then him get wrecked by that fresh tire guy. So I was just trying to finish the race and get all the points I can and make up for the mistake I did at Vegas. I put myself in the hole, so I'm glad I dug myself out of that with the 2 good runs we had to finish this round.
Yeah, and you mentioned you're glad you dug yourself out of it. So are you ready to start preparing? Have you already started preparing for next week here and racing for a title and what that means?
No, to be honest with you, I'm surprised I haven't made it this far, dude. Like, this season has been so crap. I'm still mad at myself because I gifted John the win at Darlington. I should have won that race, and then we've been mid, and then we've hit a stride right here, been running really good, so now it's time to I'm going to focus up on that some, but the main goal now is to focus on Wednesday and try to make that champ 4 too. So I have, 2 chances to try to win a championship next week. So that's the main goal right now, is just try to get ready for Wednesday night.
Well, alrighty. Congrats on making it. Before we let you jump out of here and get ready for Wednesday, and of course start preparing for next week at Kansas, where it's always fun to watch you guys battle. Who helps get you to the racetrack week in, week out? Who you taking to this title fight with you?
My buddy Justin Vandermeer, he paints all my schemes, and I haven't had a new scheme in forever, so I don't know why I say paints all my schemes, but he made all these schemes seed like years ago, and so shout out to my buddy, man. Love representing him in this series and in the Cup Series and Elite and other leagues as well. And John Cutlip as well at JD Designs. I know he paints a lot of schemes. All my Pro Edge, all those guys, those are all my friends. We've known each other for so long, and I think this is like, what, 5 or 6 maybe Final Fours in a row maybe. I think I missed one right in there. We've been here in the Xfinity and we've missed it every time, so I'm hoping to get one for Pro Edge, finally in Xfinity. And shout out to you guys, up here in the booth. It was a good race tonight. I mean, the car was difficult to drive. You couldn't just mash the throttle yet. It was fun. The setup was weird, but that made it fun and it was enjoyable. It was the first time I raced this updated version of it and actually had a blast, and so that was good. So shout out to Chad for putting this on the schedule. It was actually really good. I know people probably hated it, but it was really fun to drive. I like when the car is hard to drive, so shout out to him for that. And everyone that's part of the lead, and Betty watching, hope, we made the champ 4 again. So shout out to all those guys, and people, that cheer for us on these Pro Edge team, man. We're one of the main teams in this league, and it's good to represent, like this. So Wadsworth done it in Cup last week, and now I locked myself now a minute in Xfinity, so that's the main goal, is to get there, and we're going to win it all. So that's the main focus right now, is just go out there and dominate Kansas.
Well, all right, Matthew. We can't wait to see the race that you guys put on next week at Kansas. Can't wait to get there. Good luck, and come back and talk to us next week.
We're going to try, man. Thank you.
All right, James, I think you have, I almost said Blake. I believe you got Ryan down there somewhere. Do you not?
Yes, sir. Ryan, James in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, heck of a run there at the end. Man, one more lap and you think you might have had him?
Yeah, I was trying to line him up to give him the bump and run going into 3, but the 11 was just at my left rear, so I'm like, I gotta just run the top. This'll get ugly if I try and do something, but yeah, I was hoping. I know it was a gamble pitting there with like 15 to go, but when I saw, I think only one person behind me stayed out, I'm like, oh, that's like the winning call. And then it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I was like boxed in for most of those last 15 laps and almost I got caught in middle 3, and then we all just kind of went spinning into turn 1. So luckily still survived that and had another shot at the end, but Blake was definitely he was the class of the field, so I'm not upset at finishing second. It was still a strong run for sure.
Yeah, and you were definitely one of the fastest out there. You started on the pole. Were you expecting to have this much speed here? Were you really looking forward to this one?
Yeah, usually short tracks are my strong suit for sure. So I was confident coming into this. I don't have a ton of track time at North Wilkesboro. Especially the new one. I mean, I ran the old 1987 version or whatever year it was, a little bit, but I don't even know if I'd run this new version before, but I did a little practicing, which is rare for me. I don't usually practice a lot before these races, so maybe I should start doing that to start running better. But no, I was confident. I figured out the line and just was. I knew I was going to have to try and save tires, and yet I still didn't save nearly enough for Blake there on that long run. I really wasn't expecting a huge long run like that, just based on the Myrtle Beach race we had earlier in the year, where I don't think we had more than like a 10-15 lap run. So I was kind of expecting that, just trying to get good at like 20-25 lap runs, and I guess I just pushed it a little too hard early in that long run, and Blake was half a track ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, well, it was still an awesome performance for you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give?
For sure. Just got to thank Design Ping and Shift Esports for having me on this year. It's been a fun first season in the Elite Racing League for sure. Got to thank Seth. Well, I just said that. Seth Rawls Design, Shift Esports, all my teammates. I hate that. I know Brandon couldn't be here today. He was bummed about. I felt horrible about Dover last week. I mean, I looked like I had never touched iRacing before. I crashed on the first lap and took out half my teammates. So I feel bad that he had to miss it, but I know he had a strong year, and I know Seth had a strong year. Tonight didn't turn out great for him, but happy to race with these guys and looking forward to the next season for sure.
All righty, well, we appreciate you, Ryan, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
For sure. Thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys do. I love watching the broadcast back. You guys do a great job.
Hell yeah, man. Cheers.
See you guys.
Well, I'm standing here with Blake, and this is getting to be, it feels like a weekly occurrence. Not that we're not excited to talk to you every week, Blake, but I think you should start having to pay something to sponsor the interview or something so if you're going to be the one that does it every week. But talk to us about your night. You kind of didn't lead a lot early, but when you took it, you set sail, and you were going over that long run, lapped up to about 10th place, had a huge lead. Talk to us about your night and, of course, finishing it off there with tires coming and looking ahead to the championship battle next week.
Yeah, that was kind of nail biting at the end. I didn't know if those guys on tires were going to get clear. It just, you could run all over the racetrack, but not on pressed tires. It was too much grip, too cold, and the tires didn't seem to have that kind of pivot or bite that you needed for the center of the corner until way late in the run. So, it took 50 laps for me to, I got up to Borges, and it took 50 laps for me to even find, the tires in the line to, change or weight shift my car in the center of the corner to find a different line to pass him. It was very interesting. The weather here tonight was strange too. I noticed at some point the track temp would be like 95 and then go upwards of like 130. And that was over that really long run to start there or in the middle of the race. Really strange, but it ended up, there was like no grip all night. I didn't go full throttle on the straightaway all night. That's how little grip we had. It was just, you were kind of dancing through the corners. And I imagine it sucked if you couldn't figure it out, but if you did figure it out, it was a pleasure to drive, and I had fun.
Well, you mentioned you had fun. A lot of guys did not have fun. There was a lot of calamity, a lot of chaos behind you. But now you've kind of pulled away from Cutlip there a little bit as far as leading the league in wins. I know that was something the two of you were going back and forth with. Now talk to me about this championship and what is your outlook moving on to Kansas next week?
I don't really know. I'm not that great at Kansas. The Cup race we had earlier in the season kind of put a damper in my Kansas skill, I guess, or knowledge. I was really lost the whole time. So, I do like this. Is it Xfinity still? Because it's 2025. Are we calling it Xfinity or calling it O'Reilly?
Yep.
Or is this
Xfinity.
is this the Mark Rebilas car?
We're still calling
It's
it
the Mark
Xfinity.
Rebilas.
It's the Mark Rebilas car.
We'll accept all.
Okay. The B car, how about that? So I like the B car. And I'm signing up for that next season. I'm still wary in Cup, but yeah, I'm looking forward to just being in the championship race, how it goes. I've already got my Cup championship. I say and feel right now like I don't really feel like I'm not wanting to win. I'm not that hungry to win, but it's always a pleasure to be part of a championship 4, right? So I'm sure my competitors will bring their A game, and it should be a good race at Kansas. As the B car typically always puts on a good show at the mile and a half.
Well, all right, Blake, before we let you jump out of here, celebrate this win, start preparing the race for a championship next week. Who helps get it done week in, week out, and who are you taking with you to that fight next week?
That'd be Channel 199 Sim Racing, Track Races Simulation, Machine Works, Racecraft Academy. My teammates in this series, let's see, it's John Cutliff, Paul Mikolajczyk, oh my goodness, Justin Wadsworth, and someone else I'm forgetting. Hey, but shout out Ryan Borges tonight. We had an awesome race, and Weeks there, he raced me clean at the end. And you guys are putting this on, and the league for keeping me entertained in my midweek racing. Shout out y'all.
All right, thanks for giving us the time, Blake. Can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us next week at Kansas.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all.
Well, Dave, James, tonight wasn't so much the night of chaos as it was about the self-inflicted wounds. We didn't have a whole lot of chaos. Heck, we didn't even have a whole lot of cautions tonight. We had a few at the start and a few at the end, but in the middle, we had about 100 lap green flag run there, and not a whole lot of tempers. It was about the internet or maybe forgetting where you were on pit road and things like that. So how do you guys wind down this playoff so far, and what are you looking ahead to at Kansas?
Yeah, I think this ended up being the mix between the fire and brimstone I was expecting and the marshmallows and rainbows race that Dave was expecting. And yeah, don't really know what to expect with Kansas now. Obviously, it's going to be one heck of a championship fight between the 4, and whoever can nail the outside is probably going to take it here.
Any thoughts from you tonight, Dave, on the race tonight or looking ahead to Kansas? I do too. I can't wait to get there. Can't wait to crown a champion. Can't wait to see the battle we're going to have amongst our 4 and to watch, like you mentioned there, Tyler Fody will finish serving his penalty next week when he has to take that EOL. Start at the back, document his run to the front. Very, very wide track out there in Kansas that it can be done at. So it's going to be exciting next week. As for tonight, I want to give a shout out to everybody who helps make this happen, keeps this thing going around. Dave, everything he does at ERN. James for joining me. Of course, the drivers for giving us the minute. Mark wasn't out here. I thought Mark was racing tonight. I thought I seen him on the list, but Mark was not in here. But Mark for sponsoring the series, Blue Egg Marketing, Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's never too early. Christmas is coming. Get your tickets for next year. IndyCar, NASCAR, the drags, whatever it is, it's going to race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. So never too early to talk about that, but I think that's going to do it for us here from a very tame North Wilkesboro. Make sure you tune in same time next week where we will have a winner and crown a champion.